Today we're going to talk about ancient gears in this video, and I want to be going over a deck profile, I guess, of what I've been, kind of playing around with the new ancient gear cards. And I kind of have to say that the new roundabout of support kind of pushes this deck a little bit over the edge. It might not be tier 1, but it is definitely a step in the right direction to make this deck at least somewhat playable, because beforehand, with all this support, without all this support, the deck is relatively unplayable. So I want to go over certain cards and why they're here, and I'm going to be discussing why I'm running certain cards as well. Mainly because do keep in mind that this list is quite flexible. If you find anything that you don't particularly agree with, feel free to let me know. So let's just jump right into it with Machine Reactor Dragon. I decided to run this card at 2, mainly because this card's a bit cloggy at 3. 2 is just fine. You can get 2 of these out no problem with Geartown and Catapult. It's not hard, so 2 is pretty fun, pretty easy. Having the ability to pop back row and doing all that kind of stuff, having piercing damage, is pretty good. Next is Ancient Gear Golem. You could choose this card out by ignoring the summoning conditions of certain cards in the deck. I like this one, I think. I don't remember. I actually don't remember off the top of my head, but I know you can cheat this card out by some way. It's also pretty good. I think it's this card that also can cheat it out. So yeah, I think so, but I'm not sure. Ancient Gear Gadjiltron Dragon. Gadjiltron Dragon's pretty good. It's a level 8, obviously, so it gives you a chance to play rank 8s. Like I said, 2's max. 2 gets a bit cloggy. You're running five or higher monsters, so it is what it is. The card is okay. 2 Ancient Gear Knights. Mainly I'm running this because it's level 4. It's just that's it. That's literally it. 3 Ancient Gear Wyvern. This card is really good because it allows you. It's a Stratos, and that's all that it needs to be. It's not going to kill anything because it's 1700, but it's a good card. It's a great card. So next is Ancient Gear Gadget, probably the best card in the deck, in my opinion. This card, it kind of pushes the deck a little over the top, a little over the edge. So yeah, this is a lot of synergy with Machine Duplication, which is also down there in 3. So Gear Gigant X, I play this card at 1 simply only because it allows me to special summon or add another. It's basically another Wyvern. The only problem with this card is that it prevents me from attacking, and then I also can only special summon machine type monsters, which if that was it, that wouldn't be a big deal. But since it prevents me from declaring attack for the rest of the turn, it's kind of not very good. So it's what it is. Next is 2 Ancient Gear Hunting Hound. People are severely underestimating the power of this card. This card making this card stupidly simple. It's such a good card. Normal summoning it's not terrible. It's a good card. It's just a great card. You can fusion summon from your extra deck. You can fusion summon an ancient gear monster from your extra deck by using material in the hand. It's overload. It's polymerization, except you don't have to run polymerization in the form of a monster that deals 600 damage when it's flip summons or normal summons. So it's a pretty good card. So yeah, and 2 Maxi, obligatory Maxi. 2 Catapult, or 3 Catapult, excuse me. Catapult is, in my opinion, one of the best Ancient Gear cards they have. Having the ability to not only react to Geartown or have Geartown trigger, it allows you to summon. Oh yeah, it's also a way you can get out Ancient Gear Golem by cheating it out. You can cheat out Ancient Gear Golem with this card. But you can also special summon Ancient Gear Token, which is really good. So it's a good card. Overload Fusion. This is one of your main ways of getting out Ancient Gear Chaos. Ancient Gear Chaos. This guy, Ancient Gear Chaos Giant. Mainly because it's very easy to have 4 Ancient Gear monsters in your graveyard. So and on the field and in your hand. Is it in your hand? Right? It's in your hand, right? No, outside the field graveyard. It's pretty good. It's easy to do. It's easy to have 4 monsters. So it's a good card. You should probably run this. Plus Chaos, it's dark and it's easy. It also opens you up to make 2 in 1 turn, which is generally a game from there because your opponent's not going to be able to destroy it normally. They're going to have to find a way to run over this card which is going to be easier said than done. Unless they have, like, I don't know, maybe Honest, then they're going to have a tougher time. But realistically speaking, it's pretty effective. Raigeki is Raigeki. Pot of Desires. The reason why I'm running this card at the way it is because this deck can have a bit of consistency issues. I know it's really weird to explain, but at first initial tests I've tested without this card. I've had bricky hands all day. I've had 2 Overload Fusions in one hand, and I have had 3 Machine Dupes in another. So this card kind of mitigates the problem of having a little bit of a bricky hand. So. Ancient Gear Workshop, kind of just to mitigate some of the losses, allows you to recycle your Ancient Gear Wyverns, your Ancient Gear Reactor Dragons. You probably don't want to banish Reactor Dragons because of for the Golem. However, it is an option to do. I rather recycle those and special summon those throughout the later parts of the game. So. Machine Dupe, basically the reason why you're playing this card is because you have Ancient Gear Gadget. It's not one of your main plays, but it is an easy way to make your make some rank 4 plays. I was also wanting to throw in some Deltaros or Ouroboros action into this because Ouroboros and Deltaros are pretty freaking amazing cards. I might actually end up doing that in hindsight. However, it is fine as it is for the sake of this video. So I guess it's good. And 2 Ancient Gear Ancient Gear Fortress. I'm actually still a little bit hesitant to call this card decently good. It is good, but at the spot that it is in now, I think you can cut it to 1. However, I don't see the card often. However, when I do, it's generally over anyway, and the cards end up being not that great. Geartown, simply put, you have Catapult to react to this card, plus it prevents your opponent from just like mass removing your board, because if you have this card plus and just that, you're going to win the game. With no other back row set, you're probably going to win the game from there. So it's a good card. And Ancient Gear Reborn, I haven't drawn a single copy of this yet to tell you if it's actually good at testing. Theoretically, it's good at testing. Theoretically, okay. It's just. It is what it is. So we're going to move on to the extra deck. 2 Ancient Gear Chaos Golem, or Chaos Giant, because this card is really good. The 4 Ancient Gear, don't let that frighten you. It's not relevant. That meaning requirement is not really good. It doesn't really matter. What you're getting out of it is much more. It reaps its benefits. Has piercing damage, can't die by card effects, and your opponent can't activate monster effects during the battle phase. So it's a good card. This card's actually, I would actually consider this card broken. So Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, you might as well play this card. You might as well. It's not very good, but you might as well play one. And Ancient Gear Devil, I don't like this card. I do not like this card. You're only going to go with this card if you're going for game, realistically. But all in all, the card is not very good. It is level 8, so if it was level 10, I'd be like, shoot, yeah, I do play that card. This card's level 10, so is this card. So yeah, 7 other things. Basically, because you're running rank cakes, plus you could have you run Pain Gainer, which can just like, you can just exceed into these cards. Because 7 other sins is broken. I'm sorry, this card's absolutely great. So. 1 Felgrand. Felgrand's pretty good. Also, I forgot to tell you about Hope Harbinger. Hope Harbinger is the best rank 8 in the game. Sorry, guys, it's the truth. Felgrand's pretty good. 2 Gear Gigant X, because why not? Because you're playing Ancient Gears. You're playing Ancient Gears. You're playing a machine deck, so you can play this card. 1 Castel. 1 Mastroke Symphony Djinn. I'll explain what this is in here in just a second. 1 Daigusto Emeral. 1 Abyss Dweller. And 1 Gagaga Cowboy. This is like the one card that I could probably switch out for what's it called? Deltaros or Ouroboros. Ouroboros or Deltaros. I should probably say it like that because it's hard to say. So plus this deck does a lot of burn as it is. It can do a lot of burn as it is. It can do decent amount of burn to where this card's not really that relevant, but that's whatever. 3 Shadow Spread Virus. I figured that I would test this card out and see how good it is. I haven't actually had any matchups where this card is super beneficial. However, it does have a few targets in the extra deck that I want to draw attention to. It has Mastroke, Symphony Djinn. You can do it with 7 Deadly Sins, and you can especially do it with Chaos Giant also. Downside is that you lose some resources in the process of debilitating and crippling your opponent first for a turn. I'm actually not particularly sure on which card or which deck this is good in. If Monarchs were still a deck, this would be a really great side deck card for that against that deck, because this card does stop that deck. I guess in some aspects it does stop Metaphos, because Metaphos' monsters, I believe all but one is affected by this card, and I think actually all but 2 monsters are affected by that, and they're both 8 scales. So both the 1 scales are dead to this card. So in some ways, I guess it can be useful, but I still have yet to do plenty of testing with it. Twin Twisters, obviously, and we're in the Ghost Dante Blue Eyes for the Cherry Blossoms. Obvious things. Quarantine. This card is really good. Back to what I was doing. Move this out of the way. Quarantine. Basically, any light deck that you're playing against is going to be susceptible to this card. It's good against Blue Eyes. It's good against Cyframes. It's good against any light deck. It's good against that 50 card Last Warning deck that seems to be popping up everywhere. All in all, it's a great card. This card says, "Hey, try come at me, because you can't special summon light monsters." So, and Tony King Ryan. Just walking floodgates. Just a pretty good card. It doesn't really hurt you all that much. Look at this card. You don't do that much searching actually, which is kind of strange. You do a lot of special summoning for the deck. So anyway, guys, tell me what you guys think about this deck in the comment section down below. Tell me what you think, if it'll be good, if it'll be bad in the TCG when it comes out. I will see you guys in the next episode, or I'll see you guys in the next video. This has been Team Metamorphose signing off.